Pedagogy. We can define pedagogy as a method of teaching, both as an academic subject or theoretical concept. What is teaching? Teaching can be described as the act of encouraging learning activities through discovery and acquired knowledge. Within pedagogy, we can find 4 core learning profiles. These 4 core learning profiles are auditory learners, tactile or kinesthetic learners, visual learners, reading and writing learners. Now let's discuss in separate what these 4 core learning profiles are. The first one is auditory learners. These learners benefit from listening to the information presented to them in the class. They learn orally from both listening to the instructions from the teachers and from audio recordings. The next type is tactile learners or kinesthetic learners. These learners absorb knowledge through touch and movement. They prefer to work with hands-on devices and learning aids. The next one is visual learners. These learners prefer to see information in order to visualize the relationship between ideas and concepts to understand them. The last one is reading and writing learners. These learners prefer to take on information by reading texts. These learners can further absorb information by condensing and rephrasing the information they read in their texts. Today, teachers have the advantage of utilizing traditional learning practices while incorporating new educational technologies to create a diverse, differentiated classroom ready for mixed ability pupils. Under pedagogy, we can find 5 pedagogical approaches. These 5 pedagogical approaches are Constructivist approach, collaborative approach, reflective approach, integrative approach, inquiry-based approach. Let's see what these 5 approaches are. The first one is Constructivist approach. This approach is based on the concept of constructivism. This is the belief that learners create their own understanding of the world around them. This understanding is based on experience through their everyday lives. In this diagram, we can get a rough idea about what constructivism is, which is explained in detail in a separate video. The collaborative approach. This approach puts a big emphasis on collaborative learning. Collaborative learning is the idea that learners work together to gain a greater understanding of the information they have been presented with. The strength of this approach is that learners can capitalize on each other's understanding of the information and even their unique skills and resources. The reflective approach. This approach focuses primarily on analyzing what the teacher and learners are doing in the classroom. It encourages thinking about teaching practices and figuring out ways to improve them in an attempt to make learning processes more effective for a class of learners. This can be done through self-evaluation and self-reflection. The integrative approach. This approach differs from other teaching approaches in the sense that it tries to provide learners with an environment where they can make connections between the current topic they are learning about and the other topics they have come across at different stages of the curriculum. This approach is more commonly used in higher education. The last one is inquiry-based approach. This is unique in the sense that it encourages learners to engage in exploration, investigations, research, and study. This approach begins with presenting questions, scenarios, or problems that require critical thinking to solve. In other pedagogical approaches, facts are presented in simple manner.